The focus of the county in crisis and the prolonged drought experienced in different parts of the country due to rain shortfall has had far-reaching consequences to both humans and animals. One county that has been hardest hit is Garissa. Pastoralists have abandoned their manyatas and migrated near water sources, with this causing yet another conflict. Domesticated animals, wild animals and human beings are fighting for the little water available in dams. Stanley Mbishu has just returned from Garissa and paints us a picture of the reality in the county. I leave you with that story. Have a good night.
The sun sets in the almost bare land of Garissa County. The temperatures, even in the evening, is unimaginable. And every living thing on land can barely withstand the scorching heat. There is barely a sign of life here. Only abandoned shunts of manyatas. A few months ago, families that resided here that are primarily pastoralists were busy attending to their herds of cattle and goats. For now, that remains just good old memories. 100 kilometers and through a tough terrain, pastoralists are in search of water for their cattle. Water scarcity is the reason residents of this area are migrating from their manyatas. And it's not just domestic animals that are affected. Wild animals from bony forests are migrating too. These images captured express a complete paradox of nature. Animals seeking refuge to quench their thirst. In Ijara sub-county, some animals have extended their limit. Members of an extended family mourn the loss of their own. 25 years old Yusuf Abdi Ibrahim. He met his demise as he took a herd of cattle out in search for water at a nearby water pond in Warabesa. A buffalo charged him, leaving him fatally injured. Yusuf's mother, unable to express herself after losing her child to the unending human-wildlife conflict experienced here, fear for worse if nothing is done to keep the animals away.
Wengine huwa wanapata jeraha na wengine hata wanakufa. Kwa yale yanayokumbuka mimi najua kama karibu watu 4 watu 5 walikosa maisha yao kwa sababu ya nyati. Sio kwa kiangazi peke yake, lakini hata za mbele. Kule msituni nyasi imeisha, maji zimeisha. Wanyama pori kama nyati wakalazimika kutoka msituni kuja kutafuta maji kwenye mahali watu wanapata maji. Utapata kina mama mjamzito wameenda kutembea karibu kilomita 9 kutafuta maji. Wakati huu tunaongea kuna shida ya maji kabisa. Ni kuongojea utabuza upate ukosi.
Resources here are scarce for sharing with wildlife. Water containers left by the roadside in anticipation of a water truck that comes by once every week. Unfortunately, it is broken down on the way to fetch water 70 kilometers from here. As the only water truck serving the communities and the schools around, there is an impending threat of another week delay.
And if you ask the locals, they will tell you the schools was open for the first 1 month and then it closed. The hospital, the health center is the same. So essential amenities, essential facilities like health center and schools long time closed because of lack of water.
Most parents are moving out of the villages due to lack of water from the dams, and due to that, most of the boys who are sitting for the KCP, KCSE are also moving out with their parents. And for those who are remaining in school, there is lack of water.
This is Warabesa village in Ijara constituency. Women, men and children prepare themselves to dismantle these manyatas in readiness to move to other areas where there are greener pastures and water. They bank their hopes in this, but their chances are at bare minimum. Hungry birds scavenge on the little flesh left on the seemingly weeks-old carcasses. Onlooking zebras from afar are waiting for us to leave so that they can quench their thirst. But brave monkeys leave nothing to chance as warthogs seek refuge in the villages for fear of hungry hyenas in the bushes.
You see, in the constituency there is KWS, and it is them to give our reports on the occurrence of human-wildlife conflicts and the level it has reached. I am sure if they will have reported, this thing will not have happened. And it's not only here, everywhere in this constituency, from Hulugo to the far end of Kotile up to Ishakbini, every water ponds that are left to give water to these residents, there is these cases of animals and dying inside the water, animals killing the human beings. And I can remember about 3-4 people were killed by buffalo, and it's a fact. It is a matter of when and not if that disease will spread it. As you can see here, and the water is, we cannot call it water. The buffalo died inside. It is decaying, and it's dangerous for people living around to take it. And unfortunately, they are taking it because there's no other source of water. This is the only source of water they have.
Many young children spend the better part of their day in search for water, time that will probably be spent in school.
The drought has affected the greatest part of this sub-county, affecting around 66,000 people in Ijara constituency as a whole.
It has not rained in these parts of Garissa in over 2 years now. On this particular day, the clouds above promise a heavy downpour.
So far, out of around 6 dams, only two dams has some little water, and that is the only dam where wild animals, human beings, and domestic animals are feeding from the same dam. And the dam is quickly getting down because of the numerous users.
We are meant to understand that most of the locals from the neighboring Somalia cross over through a vetting process with the local authorities here in Kenya so that they can also access some of the little water that is here for sharing. As our journey comes to an end back to Nairobi, Devolution CS Mwangi Kiunjuri with other government officials are giving relief food to hunger victims at Mulunguni in Magarini sub-county.
Jambo la kwanza ya serikali, kazi yake ni to protect the rights of its people. Kuhakikisha maisha ya wananchi wake haijatishwa hata kidogo. Hata insecurity na maneno ya njaa. Na ndio nimefika hapa siku ya leo, ili tuangalie hakuna Mkenya hata moja atalala njaa. Na nimetumwa na rais mwenyewe.
The importance as at now, it's not how much, but few, the small budget you give, are you really taking to the needy people in Warabesa and Ijara constituency for that matter? That is the important question.
Hakuna mwananchi, na tusikize hapa, si atakufa kwa njaa, hakuna mwananchi atalala njaa.
It is a situation that faces the country every so often, with concerned departments like special projects only appearing to be firefighting once a disaster occurs. Stanley Mbichu, KTN News,